After an 8-hour journey from Moscow, we've arrived on the second leg of our world tour. We are here at Shaolin Temple, the birthplace of Chan Buddhism and Chinese martial arts, a mecca for martial artists. I couldn't be more excited to be here. From the moment we set foot inside the temple, I felt like a kid in a candy shop. I couldn't wait to do some moves, throw some kicks, in the birthplace of Kung Fu. As I was walking around the temple, I stumbled on a group of foreigners practicing. They were a group from an entirely different continent. They were from Cameroon, Africa. They've been here for about 2 years, and when I stumbled upon them, they were practicing chain whip, and they were being led by a monk. It was really cool to see a group from not US, not China, practicing so hard and loving Shaolin Kung Fu. The Shaolin Temple has been on this site for over 1,500 years. This magnificent building is the bell tower here at Shaolin. It's been around for nearly 700 years. Now, it used to ring every morning, but now it's only sounded on special occasions. Across from the bell tower is the drum tower. Before, when they would ring the bell in the morning, they would hit the drum at night. The Mahavira Hall is one of the larger halls here at Shaolin. It's about 5 rooms wide and 4 rooms deep. And it goes by a lot of different names. The Hall of Buddha Trinity, 3 Centuries Buddha Hall, Glazed Hall, Mountainous Hall, Treasure Hall, Grand Hall. What I surmised from all the different names is that this hall is very important, which I later found out that it is. It's the home of all the Buddhist activities that take place here at the temple. The Li Shui Pavilion is the second to last pavilion here at Shaolin, and that, along with the Thousand Buddha Hall, were 2 that were not burned down in 1928. Over the long history of the Shaolin Temple, it's been ransacked, burned down multiple times. And a lot of the buildings that we see here, even though they're built on original sites, were built at later dates. The Li Shui Pavilion is the original building. It's been renovated many times, but it's never been completely burnt down. It's also a pavilion solely dedicated to Datmo, the founder of Kung Fu. Super early this morning, we came to the temple. We met a small group of young monks at the Thousand Buddha Hall who were awesome enough to do a performance for us. They were demonstrating all the different famous animal forms of Shaolin. There was snake, we saw duck, which is becoming one of my favorites. It's just such a quirky type of Kung Fu. There was a really young monk who was performing the child's Kung Fu. You have to be really flexible to do it. And his last move, he kicked his leg up and it went behind his head. I don't know what exactly you have to stretch in order to be able to do that, but I haven't been stretching it. There was a young monk who was doing Eagle Claw. His name is Yan Shou. This collection of statues is known as the Pagoda Forest, an ancient burial ground for the most high-ranking and most honorable monks. Now, normally you're not even allowed in here, but we've been invited by the Shaolin monks themselves to watch them perform on this sacred ground. 师父，请。The juxtaposition between the serenity of this place and their intensity really accentuated their power and how strong these guys are. They were swinging everything from broadswords, staff, chain whips, bullwhips, the tiger hook swords. They had a vast array of weaponry. It was awesome to watch. One thing that really impressed me about the monks' performance today was there was a group performance, and all the monks were completely in sync, powerful in the same way, and they moved as one. It was almost like a small army. It was really impressive to watch them working together as one. It's really hard for me to watch a performance like I watched today and not get really excited. They've literally been in the temple since they were kids. And I've been doing Kung Fu since I was 11, and I'm a Kung Fu nerd at heart, and I would tell anybody that I eat, sleep, live, breathe Kung Fu. When I see it, I want to do it. Sometimes when I'm not even thinking about it, I'm doing it. Getting an opportunity to work with these guys who also have the same passion and who have been here doing it for so long means so much to me. Today I had some time to spend with the abbot in the abbot's room here at the temple, and here's what I learned. Tell us about your childhood in Anhui and how you came to Shaolin and eventually became abbot.
30年前，我是从安徽一个农村，走到少林寺的。
He told me he came to the Shaolin Temple 30 years ago from a small village in the Anhui province. He came because he heard how famous the Shaolin Temple was. What is Chan Buddhism?
禅理，它是一种生活方式。
He explained that Chan is a combination of Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. And it's not only important to Chinese culture, but Asian culture as a whole. He described Shaolin Kung Fu as a vast and well-respected martial arts system that's over 1,500 years old.
少林寺里，在中国改革开放。
He said that the past 30 years has been one of the best times for the Shaolin Temple because of China's open door policy. It's been a great time for the Shaolin Temple to rebuild, protect, and preserve its Shaolin culture. Why do you set up Shaolin cultural centers across the world?
因为少林文化，它是建立在少林。
He explained that Chan culture is a product of cultural exchange, and that it belongs to people of the world. They've been invited to different cities and environments to set up these cultural centers. There are over 100 different cultural centers in cities across the world. When was the name Shaolin trademarked, and why?
因为经济的全球化，对我们传统的。
He explained that the growth of the world economy has impacted culture all over the world, and that the name Shaolin was being used without a clear identity. So about 10 years ago, he used the legal system to trademark the name Shaolin in different parts of the world, so that they could provide true Shaolin culture and spirit to the world. How do you feel about being referred to as the Kung Fu CEO?
CEO 不应该是个贬义词。
He said that CEO is normally a term that's used in business, and even though people hold it in high regard, that it's not appropriate for a monk. Although, he doesn't really mind it.
磕头面着山在苦，死在那把难面结束。只要那行善把事做，老祖那关内我在。
After a 2.5-mile hike from the Shaolin Temple up the Song Mountains, I've arrived at Da Mo's cave, the location where Da Mo traveled into the mountains to meditate for 9 years. It was there he created Chan Buddhism, also known as Zen Buddhism. Da Mo's cave is about 10 feet wide and 22 feet deep, which is a really small area to be in for 9 years. Da Mo needed a way to stay in shape while he was in here meditating for so long. So he created certain movements, and those movements later became early forms of Shaolin Kung Fu. Today I had another chance to practice with the monks. And a lot of people think that Shaolin Kung Fu is really flowery and it's all for performance and, oh, you wouldn't use those weapons in modern day times and all this stuff. And there is some validity to that. These guys do have a stage show here that they perform for tourists after tourists. And I think they exaggerate a lot of the forms that they do, and I think a lot of it's catered more towards performance. But I've gotten to spend a lot of time with these guys. From seeing them move up close, I can tell that their martial arts skill is real. Whether or not they're using a weapon you wouldn't use nowadays, it doesn't matter. Their skill is there, they're strong. I had another extremely special opportunity to learn from two great masters here at Shaolin, Sifu Shi Yanao and Shi Yanzhuang. Now these guys are the pinnacle of Shaolin Kung Fu. They are what all the monks strive to be. So not only did I get a chance to learn from them, I also got a chance to watch them perform. When Master Shi Yanao performed the 18 Da Mo hands, you could tell the emphasis in that form was on the dantian, which is the area right below your belly button. That's where qi, where your internal energy is created. There's a part at the beginning where you, it's coming from your internal power, coming from your dantian. The way he would hit and strike, it was all coming from, it's also known as your center. So it was all coming from his center. And his whole body would move. It was really, really amazing to watch. During Master Shi Yanzhuang's form, soft hands, the emphasis was a little bit different. It was not on, boom, super powerful movements. It was on the soft, controlled, connecting your breath with your movements, and then when the time is right, boom, exploding. The amazing thing watching him is how his power is connected from the floor up to the dantian and then into his hands. So no matter where he moves, the power is coming through his entire body. It was a beautiful display of martial arts.